I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're delighted to introduce you to a wonderful children's author. Her name is Renée Mancini. She is the brilliant writer behind the charming and vibrant book called Three Purple Frogs Rowing on the Bayou. It is set in the rich and lively backdrop of the Bayou. This delightful tale takes readers on a whimsical journey full of color, animals, and unexpected adventures. Her poetic prose and vivid descriptions transport us to a world that celebrates the wonders of nature and the joys of being a kid. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today, and we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel, but more importantly, purchasing this wonderful book, Three Purple Frogs. Renée, thanks so much for being our guest today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I know a little bit about your inspiration. You're originally from Nawlins, as we like to say, so you know a little bit about the Bayou, but I've never seen any purple frogs in the Bayou. So tell us a little bit about your inspiration.
Okay. Well, it's a long story how that came about, but first off, purple's my favorite color. So whatever
Mine too.
the storyline would be purple. I used to live on Lake Pontchartrain, and I always had a lot of pelicans and ducks and fish popping up and down in the lake. And one day I saw the ducks all huddled together, and I was like, what are they doing over there? And I didn't see any pelicans. And all of a sudden I see this alligator coming along the bank, and I'm like, oh, everybody ran. So it just hit me, like, oh, this would be so much fun to kind of create a story about the bayou animals. And of course, actually, my first story was called Just Three Purple Frogs, and it was on the farm. So I brought the frogs back to join in this story as well.
So your frogs are basically recurring characters in a series
They
of
are.
children's books?
They are. They're in
Wonderful.
the third book too, which hopefully will come out in 2024.
Okay, let's give the folks at home all of
Yeah.
the names. What's the first book called?
Three Purple Frogs.
And the second one is Three Purple Frogs on the Bayou.
Rowing on the Bayou.
Yep. And the third book?
It will be Three Purple Frogs Around the Bend with Friends. And it takes place like in City Park in New Orleans, in mid-city area. So kind of has a little twist like around the bend, like the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
So
Sounds
anyway,
great.
yeah.
It sounds
Yeah,
wonderful. I
thank
think
you.
I'm
Thank
sure
you.
kids love it. I mean, purple is my favorite color because I think it's like the most imaginative color. It's the most fun color. It's the most vivid color. And I think kids feel the
Calming.
same way. I mean, look at the success of Barney, the purple
Yeah,
dinosaur. If he
exactly.
had been the beige dinosaur, the yellow dinosaur, I don't think anybody would have paid him any attention at all. But what I loved about your book is how it uses simple rhymes and repetitive structure. Kids
Yes.
loved that. How did you
Yes.
approach the writing process to make sure you engaged kids while introducing them to the Bayou's ecosystem?
Well, I try to make sure that it kind of jingles. And so it's not really long sentences for the children to read and feel like they got it. Da 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 da. And so I try to choose words that are easy to say and that kind of flow with the story. So I love writing like that. It's just fun for me. And so it,
If it's
finding
fun
the
for you, it'll be
right
fun for the
words.
kids.
Yeah, finding the right words is really quite a challenge sometimes, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially
And it
because you
really
have to
does.
stay within words that the children will understand. So you
Yes.
right off the bat limited your vocabulary, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, for Rowing on the Bayou, I have like a little dictionary in the beginning of the story so they know what's content, event, and intent, things like that mean, and bayou and pirogue. And so I added a little definition of each of those so they would go, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So it's like a learning thing as well, a learning story.
Exactly. Speaking of yellow pirogues, and little brown puppies. They make a great duo, very, very charming. Tell us more about these characters and how you brought them to life and your story and what the significance is.
Okay. So I identify myself with the child and also the grandmother who was reading the story for the child before bedtime, and child goes into a dream. And all children love puppies.
Yep.
So I pulled a puppy into it, but I didn't want the character that reoccurred to be a puppy or a kitty. So that's why I thought frogs would be fun because they're a little different. And children actually look for the frogs. And so I really identify with the child and the grandmother a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the frogs are kind of mysterious. I mean, as a kid,
Yeah.
I didn't see a lot of frogs. Every now and then you'd
Yeah.
see a frog. It'd be an exciting event, to
Yeah.
see a frog. And frogs have kind of entrenched in our literature as well, children's literature. They become
Yeah.
princes and so forth. So I think
Yes.
frogs were a great idea. Have you tested your book on any kids?
I have, and as actually, I have read it to some children in the Wiley School District because I have been a substitute teacher. So I took the opportunity to read my story with children, and they love it. I have a grandson who is my big promoter. He's says, "Oh," he calls me Mima. My friends really love your story. Can I have some books for them? And I'm like, okay. So I was like, share my books with my grandson to give to his friends, what the heck, it's a book. And they love it. But I had some friends who also had children who were autistic who read the story and really enjoyed the rhyming of it, the ease of it, where the child never really enjoyed reading. They would read this over and over because of the jingly kind of and rhyming was easy for them. And I've actually sold my book to some speech therapists who, work with children who have impediments, and
Mm,
they really enjoy it. So that's a
yeah.
great thing.
The repetition's great for kids. They love it. They
Yeah.
anticipate every word. It
Yes.
becomes interactive for them. So that
Yes.
is a great thing. How old is your grandson?
He's 9.
9 years old. Okay, great, great. I'm sure that's a true joy for you when he comes home and says he
Yes.
wants to give it to his friends. So
Oh, yes.
that's
So
great.
I sign it and give it to him to bring to his friends. Yeah. So
Awesome. Awesome.
makes me feel good.
Now, the book introduces kids to the creatures in the bayou. Was it important for you to incorporate the elements of education and awareness about wildlife in your book?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So many children will never go to the bayou. They may see these animals in a zoo, like the alligators, and yeah, but a wild boar, they'll probably never see a wild boar,
Mm.
and a pelican diving for fish. And I just thought it was fun. And the aspect of not just taking the animal that lives in the bayou, but also changing the color to be something more fun, like a red alligator, really, or a blue pelican, pink, wild boar. So a lot of kids don't know what some of these animals are. And I thought, yeah, this would be a lot of fun. It'll be a learning experience as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. What message do you hope kids take away from the book?
Uh, I hope they take away that reading is fun and reading brings adventure, and you learn so much when you read, and your mom or grandma or someone reads stories to you, and it's happy. It's just um, I enjoy it, and I just hope that kids will take a little education from it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's such an important time
Yeah,
to sit with your child by the side of their bed at bedtime and read them a
yes,
story. It's a simple
absolutely.
thing to do, say your prayers, read a story, and you're
Hmm.
really impacting that child's life forever. We only have
Absolutely.
these kids for what? I know we're supposed to have them for
Yeah.
21 years. We pay for them through 21 and beyond, but they're only yours till they're about 13 or 14, and then they're their friends,
And
So
it flies
yeah.
by. Yeah,
Exactly. So it's a good idea to bond with your children and read a
right.
terrific book like Three Purple
Absolutely.
Frogs. Are all of these books available now?
Yes, well, the first two are Three Purple Frogs and The Rowing on the Bayou are available.
Okay, and coming out soon is your third book.
Yes,
Right.
Around the Bend with Friends.
And people can get them on Amazon, other booksellers as well?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Great.
Definitely.
Well, the book I read and I truly enjoyed is called Three Purple Frogs Rowing on the Bayou. It is a great story that'll transport readers on a whimsical journey filled with color, animals, unexpected adventures, and wonderful language that'll be perfect for your kids. It'll spark some conversation with you and your child as well. They'll learn from
Yes,
you, they'll learn from the book, they'll learn from each other. Highly recommended. Renée, thanks so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
yes. Thank you so much, Logan, for having me.
All the pleasure is all mine. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.